Again, thank you, seniors, for everything you do for our community. You are great models for everyone. We are grateful for your love, your wisdom, your service to your family, neighbors, community, and country. We salute you for your dedication to improve the lives of the less fortunate. May God keep raining down His grace on all of you. Thank you so much and welcome.
So what I'd like to do is I'd like to introduce you to the Senior Issues Committee. The Senior Issues Committee consists of two Board of Supervisors, Supervisor Linda Seifert and Supervisor John Vasquez. And they're going to be part of our ceremony today to help honor people. So Supervisor Seifert. Thank you.
First, I want to thank the Senior Coalition and Ron Sherlock for putting together an amazing event. So I think we should give them a special round of applause. The second thing I just want to mention, for those of you who weren't here last year, is to really recognize how this event has changed in 1 year. Last year we were at the Senior Center in Fairfield and it was overflowing with folks. This year we have a larger venue and it is still overflowing with folks. And what that says about the importance of our seniors and importance about volunteerism in our community just speaks volumes. And so it is always a pleasure for me to come and to celebrate with all of you the outstanding volunteers and to celebrate that spirit of volunteerism, which is so alive and so well in Solano County. And this spirit is truly reflected in the work that each and every one of the honorees today has offered to their community and to the community at large, and the lasting imprint that I know their efforts have made on so many lives. And if there is any good news that can arise out of the terrible pain of the ongoing recession, it is that so many people across the nation seem to be rediscovering the intrinsic value and the intrinsic importance of giving back. And as part of that trend, American seniors are volunteering more than ever. In 2008, 23.5% of people 65 and older volunteered 1.6 billion hours of service, double the number of seniors who had volunteered 25 years earlier. The unique and the special work that these seniors do today cannot be underestimated. To the people that we honor, it wasn't the reward that mattered or the recognition they thought they might get someday. It is truly their depth of commitment, their quality of service, the product of their devotion, that these things are those that count in life. I know that everyone in this room, that each and one of you who have come to celebrate someone you know and to watch this event take place, join me in thanking them for their service and for their commitment. All of these people are living proof that Johnetta B. Cole, who was the first African-American woman president of Spelman College, was right when she said, "The ultimate expression of generosity is not in giving what you have, but in giving who you are." I hope that the good deeds that you will do will spur the volunteer spirit in others, and I hope that you will feel a deep sense of satisfaction in knowing that you have truly made a difference to many men and women in our communities. And so I want to leave you with just another quote, which is, too often we underestimate the power of a touch, a smile, a kind word, a listening ear, an honest compliment, or a small act of caring, all of which have the potential to turn a life around. And so thank you all for coming, and I'm looking forward to the awards.
Having lived here all my life, I've always had people to look up to. And the people we're going to acknowledge today are many of those folks that all of us should be looking up to. We need to have categories such as community spirit, unsung hero, exceptional caregiver, cultural contributors, building bridges, intergenerational influence and impact, community champions, generative age and productivity. What the heck is that? Oh, I know at the end of that. Okay. Social innovation and lifetime impact. I guess we'll find out what all those mean. I think we understand what some of them mean. And as always, there's always room to learn a little more. Having turned 60 years old and now part of that senior group, I look forward to making those kinds of contributions as the people who we're honoring here today. And thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. So one of the things that I want to let you know is that, well, the Senior Coalition actually kind of started this. It's really through partnership. It has been endorsed by many, if not most, of the elected officials' offices here. It also, the Vacaville Commission on Aging took an official vote. They said, this is important, we want to know, are we really going to co-sponsor this with them? And so they're co-sponsoring it with us. It's the hosting of the cities that are creating the space for us. And so this could not have been done if we hadn't all worked together, and I just want to make that very clear, because I think there's a message in here for all of us. And that message is, none of us do any of this alone. None of us succeed alone. None of us, not a single one of us, are here on this planet without someone else being involved. And, you know, there's a beautiful image, and our symbol, actually, is a tree. And we've got some pins. I'll explain this pin here in a moment. But a tree, if you think about a tree not only drives its roots deep into the soil, and its branches high, right, reaches high, it provides fruit, it provides shade, it provides housing for animals and various people, it's a place for children to play, and underneath the soil, and I verified this, by the way, because my husband's a silviculturist, he knows trees. I wasn't going to use some kind of urban legend message or something. Underneath, trees actually, I'm going to set my fingers down for a second. Trees, the roots of trees begin to weave in with one another in such a way that as they've grown over time, if you have a series of trees in a hill, they hold each other up. And it's the oldest trees, the most established trees, the trees that have been there the longest, that have the longest roots, that make that network, that woven support system that holds everything else in place, that holds every one of us in place. And we don't always see it because it's beneath the soil. Today is about recognizing all the people who hold us together, who support us, who love us, who have created community, even when sometimes we think we've created it on our own, and we know that's not true. So keep that in mind as the symbol of what this is all about. Those of us that work with seniors said, oh my God, these seniors are incredible, I want to grow up to be just like them. I want to stay up with them and be energized by them, and in fact I have a couple of cohort mates that are in their late 70s and 80s who keep me young. Imagine that, they keep me young. And so I got to stay on my toes all the time. So last year we didn't get a chance to do this, but this year it's going to go to all of our awardees. We have a pin, and the pin has a tree, and the symbols of our color are purple and silver. And on the tree says, on the pin says, a living legacy. So all of our awardees will get this living legacy. And what I would like to do is, Barbara and Mike, if you would pin, first of all, John Hammer. That would be appropriate, Mike from Vacaville. John's from Vacaville. And then we will also do Bessie Miller, who is from Dixon. And Mike Donald Babini from Sassoon. And then Barbara, would you pin Clyde Gambles from Vallejo? and then Corey Liberato from Vallejo. Now, as she's pinning, we're going to ask these awardees if they would be part of our ceremony. And so, as we call this year's awardees up, they're going to go at each stage.
I have the pleasure of introducing our first Community Spirit Award winner, and that's Lyle Winters. Lyle, will you please come up? I'm going to read the letter that was submitted for Lyle, and it came addressed to Rochelle. So it said, Dear Ms. Sherlock, as the coordinator of the Suisun Senior Center, please accept my heartfelt nomination of Mr. Lyle Winters for consideration of the Living Legacy Award in the category of Community Spirit. Mr. Winters has volunteered his service here for over 20 years. His dedication and years as a volunteer to the center have been of great service, not only to the center, but to the senior citizens community as well. Mr. Winters places great pride on his volunteer service and has always displayed a character of conviction, a sense of duty, and one we could not count on, could not go without counting on, and trust without question. I need to go back to reading better. His duties include great service in our trip and tours program, daily opening of the center, greeting newcomers, and giving program information to seniors. Mr. Winters has always been committed to making sure that every senior who visits the center is welcome and armed with information. When acting as host on our mini trip excursions, Mr. Winters not only works diligently in making vacation plans for our travel program, he works very hard in making sure everyone has a wonderful experience and is the very reason for a lot of repeat travelers. Mr. Winters' daily service, commitment, and loyalty can only be described as invaluable. He is a pleasure to know and love. Sincerely, Karen Nickens, Coordinator, Suisun Senior Center. On a personal note, I met Lyle, I think maybe 8 or 9 years ago, as my job at the Fairfield Senior Center kind of expanded. And they offered me the travel program, and I was a person who'd never left California. And I said, are you sure? And I took a training trip with Lyle, and he kind of took me under his wing, and he made sure that I was comfortable, I was armed with information, and that I could do my job. And I want to say thank you.
So if Eloise Scott, Clyde Holmes, Donna Suter, Marion McKown, Bonnie Weidel, Norm Stewart, forgive me if I mutilated that name, Dorothy Clausen-Rayleigh, Lucille Patty, Dwayne Warden, and Elsie Taylor's not going to join us. So if you would come over here and just stand to the side here for one moment, please, that would be great. So I get the honor of introducing Eloise Scott. Eloise, will you come forward? And then also, Sunga, would you come forward? You guys get right there, Eloise. So, Eloise is a well-known Filipino community leader in Vallejo. She is a recipient of the California Woman of the Year Awards for both the State Senate and Assembly, has received personal thank you letters from President Obama and Congressman George Miller, and her walls are adorned with the many trophies and plaques from the various civic or, you know what, I don't think you need to be here, you've got too many awards. She is also the coordinator of the Filipino-American Centennial in the California State Capitol in 2009. She is one of the driving forces behind the annual Pista sa Neon Festival held annually in Vallejo, which celebrates the Filipino culture. This year marks their 25th anniversary on June 4th, when they expect to attract over 50,000 visitors along the Vallejo waterfront. She was instrumental in starting the Advocates for Neighbors, a nonprofit in Northern California with headquarters in Vallejo, which launched its first homeownership preservation clinic at the Bayanihan, is that right?
Bayanihan Center.
Thank you. Okay, Bayanihan Center at the Seafood City Mall in Vallejo. This organization works with stakeholders and gatekeepers in the housing crisis for the revitalization of local communities hard hit with foreclosures by intervening and partnering with banks, lenders, and servicers to work out loan modifications consistent with the President Obama House Affordable Modification Program. She is on the Public Relations Office of the Filipino Community of Solano County, the Solicitor General of the Philippine Cultural Committee, Board Member of Filipino American Social Services, Board Member of the Catholic Christian Community for Justice of Vallejo, and past President for the Hunundian. What she said. Circle of America. How do you have time to be here? Ms. Scott is a Eucharist minister and was a volunteer at the Lazarus Ministry of St. Basil Catholic Church of Vallejo. She is also active in ongoing church fundraising drives of St. Basil. In 2000, Ms. Scott was appointed to the Solano Democratic Central Committee and still holds that position today. She is active in voter registration efforts, community education, and get out and vote activities to encourage voter participation in Vallejo and throughout California. She immigrated to the U.S. in 1959 to study at the University of San Francisco, where she married her husband, Albert. The couple settled in Vallejo and have one son, John. She owns and manages her own business, Santonino Travel Agency, to this day. One thing, when I talked to Eloise on the phone and we were talking, she says, people ask me all the time, why do you volunteer? You know, you get all this time to spend for yourself, do things that you enjoy. And this is what she said. She said, I tell them that if we don't do it, who will? If we don't get involved in politics, who will? If we don't make a difference, who will? Eloise, congratulations. Thank you. Clyde Folds. This was submitted by Reverend J.W. McCoy. I am submitting this Living Legacy Award nomination for Mr. Clyde Folds in recognition of his tireless hours as a volunteer with our Union Baptist Church food bank. By the way, Clyde is 89 years old, young, 89 years old now. His spirit of volunteerism is a reflection of his proclaimed Christ-like character, of which he consistently displays in our church and in the community. At his tender, youthful, acting age of 89, he continues to assist the Union Baptist Church family in realizing our mission to help others. Every week, Brother Clyde travels to various locations throughout the Bay Area, making pickup and delivers for our food bank that has distributed over 2,000 bags of groceries each year. You might say, what makes this so special? He uses his personal time, talents, and treasures to accomplish this task without complaint. In the 10-plus years Brother Clyde has worked for the UBC Food Bank, and he has never been a no-show. His reputation of faithfulness and dedication to doing a job well done serves as a model of integrity to which has and continue to inspire the youth and young adults in our church and the community. Brother Clyde and his family were instrumental in our Hurricane Katrina efforts to give aid and support. His white truck with the teal-green stripe is like an ABC white news van. It is always ready for service. His tireless work and dedication are truly appreciated by us, his co-laborers, and especially those who are the recipients of his good works. I would be remiss if I failed to mention Brother Clyde's involvement in our audiovisual ministry. His love of photo taking has enriched the lives of so many. In my humble opinion, Mr. Clyde Folds meets and far exceeds any and all of the qualifications listed in the community spirit, social innovation, and intergenerational influence Living Legacy Award categories. I strongly urge you to consider and award him the recognition of this volunteer extraordinary.
This is a letter that was submitted to Rochelle on behalf for the Senior Coalition of Solano County, and it comes from Mr. Doug Fabio, who is the Recreational Supervisor for the City of Vacaville Community Services Department. And it's for the nomination for Community Spirit Award. Boundless energy and dedication to services are the two phases that accurately describe one of the most beloved volunteers at the Vacaville Community Services Department. Donna Suter has been a fixture at the McBride Senior Center for almost 2 decades. She takes her duties as the center greeted seriously and directs many seniors who enter daily with kindness and information. Donna will check individual classes. She will check on services, and personally escort visitors to any room to make sure that they get there to find their way. Whenever there is something that needs to be done, Donna will lead them by the hand. It is impossible to stop her from helping. When the center holds a special event, Donna will adjust her schedule to be sure that she's there to assist. With her happy personality, can-do attitude, and willingness to be part of the team, it is always a positive event if Donna is involved. Donna has served as a volunteer with many local veterans associations, providing activities and events and serving dinners or lunches to many veterans. Donna you can also be seen walking or bussing around town when she travels from one volunteer assignment to another, putting hundreds of volunteers' hours in annually. Donna has strengthened the Vacaville community and has enhanced the quality of life for all of those that she has been able to donate her time with. It is with a great deal of love and respect that the Vacaville Community Services Department proudly submits Donna Suter's name for the Senior Coalition of Solano County Community Spirit Award. Let's give her a nice round of applause.
It's my honor to introduce the next three awardees. And the first one is Marion McKown. So Marion, if you would come up, please. Marion was nominated by Helene Bolas at the Benicia Public Library, and I'm going to read some of what they wrote about her. Benicia Public Library is nominating Marion McKown for the Living Legacy Award because of her wonderful and untiring community spirit. Marion has been a library volunteer since May of 2000. No task is too small or too large for Marion. She is always at the library with a smile on her face and ready to help in any way she can. When she can't volunteer, she sends in a substitute. When Marion became a library volunteer and she retired from an active career as a real estate broker, she was afraid she would have nothing to do. In her words, she said, "I am busier now than when I was working full-time." I think many of our seniors find that's true. In 2001, the city of Benicia formed the Benicia Emergency Response Team, BERT, and Marion was in the first training class. BERT trains members of the community to help during any disasters. It is a rigorous training program, but not too difficult for Marion. She became chair of BERT about 5 years ago. She is also a quadrant captain for Rancho Benicia, the community she lives in, meaning that she is in charge of her community during any type of disaster. Benicia is very lucky to have Marion as one of our active volunteers. It is people like her that make our community a wonderful place to live. Congratulations, Marion. Is Bonnie Taylor Weidel. Bonnie, if you'll come up. Bonnie was nominated by Supervisor Linda Seifert, and I read from the nomination papers. Bonnie is a longtime resident of Benicia who for over 30 years has been actively engaged in a wide range of community activities. The majority of these activities have been devoted to engaging the community and especially children in the fine arts. Bonnie's ongoing contribution to the community as an art educator and teacher, executive director, school board trustee,
and citizen activist are an outstanding example of dedication and service to her community. She has 50-plus years of expertise in early childhood education and art instruction. In the early 80s, she established an art education studio in the Benicia Arsenal, where she teaches to this day. She is an advocate of teaching the whole child and understands and enjoys the teaching process. Her approach to children is to work with them in equal partnership. Bonnie has stated that working with children is always a surprise. I love opening the door to creativity and validating their ideas, experiences, and discoveries through art. Not content to limiting her love of teaching to children, Bonnie became involved with Benicia's Community Arts, and for many years was its executive director. She was a primary motivator and organizer behind Benicia's annual Arts in the Park program. She was also a key organizer for many years of Christmas at the Clock Tower. Most recently, Bonnie was a participant in the Flyaway Festival, an annual event held on Mare Island. In addition to Bonnie's participation in many community and civic organizations, commissions, and committees, her interest and dedication to children led her to run for trustee of the Benicia Unified School District in 2008, which she currently serves. An example of Bonnie's impact on the community were the many people who attended her 80th birthday party, crossing many generational lines of former students, children in her current classes, elected officials, city staff, fellow artists, and many, many others who honored her at that celebration. Congratulations, Bonnie.